You may have set up your private practice on a set it and forget it kind of system, and that makes it really difficult when you're trying to scale your private practice. In this video, we're going to talk about every question a therapist should ask themselves when they're attempting to pivot and scale in their private practice. The question is, do I have the right foundation to support my growth? Many therapists fall into the trap of set it and forget it, which can hinder their growth. We're going to talk about why having a dynamic and active system is essential for sustainable growth when it comes to your private practice business, and how you can start creating one today. Hey, my name is Shauna A, the delightful clinician, and I help innovative service-driven clinicians build sustainable and lucrative therapy careers. We talk about this in a way that goes beyond the couch of direct care, because a lot of times what happens for therapists is that they build businesses without formal guidance. They didn't teach us a lot of this stuff in grad school, so I'm going back and helping you out so that you can have that sustainable career that lasts you for years to come. Let's talk about what is a set it and forget it system. A set it and forget it system is when you basically set up something and then you just leave it alone. You don't do anything to it. You set it up and you're essentially building it and hoping that they will come. A lot of times when it comes to private practice for therapists, setting it and forgetting it is like building up a directory and hoping you're going to get referrals to that directory, or building up a website and not doing much to that website, or being really active with that website, and again, hoping that it will bring in enough for you. Things like having a directory or pouring into the SEOs of our website is great and it can be really helpful. However, there's a couple of things when it comes to those means that make it hard for clinicians to really set up those sites. For example, directories also run on an algorithm. They can also be saturated. So if you're in a saturated market that runs on an algorithm that you do not control, you have little to no control about how many clients are coming in. The same thing with SEO. Anytime you're making a change to your website's SEO, you're adding in something new and trying to attract more traffic, it can take 3 to 6 months to really see the shifts and the changes that happen for that website. These are not overnight processes. These are things that take time. When you have something that you're setting up and it can take a lot of time, if you're putting all of the eggs into that basket, there's a possibility that you may not see the return quickly or even at all. The one thing that you need to know is that even when it comes to the idea of passive income, nothing becomes passive before it is first active. So even if you were to do some of the things where you would set it up and wait out the results, you're still doing active work on the side so that you're seeing other results come in regularly as well. It's important when you're setting up your private practice to look at your active systems versus your passive systems and see which systems need a little bit more activation at this point in time. When I'm consulting with private practice clinicians who are scaling their business, one of the things that we talk about is an audit of your practice and what that looks like. We are looking at how you're bringing in income. We're looking at how you're getting new leads, new clients, new people to your services. And we're also looking at what your visibility and your marketing looks like. When we look at all of those things, that helps us get an idea of how easy it is to expand upon that. We even go back in and look at what your pricing structure is and how it's set up. Because for a lot of clinicians, not only are we moving from a very passive way, we're also shifting our mindset in how we're actually making our income. For a lot of times, clinicians are pricing their time, and we talk about moving from that model to pricing your access and looking at that in forms of packaging. All of this to say, moving from those passive systems into a more active system is crucial to scaling and pivoting your practice and expanding upon how you bring in income and revenue to your practice. It's not just picking up as many side jobs as you can. It's more about really learning how to diversify your revenue based on your skill set. This can look many ways. This can look like courses, workshops, webinars within your community. It could also look like public speaking. It could look like consulting, like what I do. It could also look like concierge work. There's many different ways to expand and pivot, but of course, as I've been saying, we're moving into a different model, which requires a shift in mindset and a shift in understanding how we're no longer setting up and forgetting about our systems. We're actively engaged in our systems. And that doesn't necessarily mean you have to push every button. Many things can be automated. What it does mean is that we are no longer building it and hoping that someone will come and find it. We are putting ourselves into discovery mode and actively putting ourselves out there so that we can be seen and that we can reach the intended audience with our work. There's many ways of auditing your systems and looking at your systems so that you have a better idea of how this is going to work for you. If you're looking for more, join me at Therapists Thrive with Shauna. It's a new school community specifically made for therapists who are building out their private practice and scaling it beyond direct therapy services. You can find that in the description. You can also work directly with me in a private practice audit where we go through all of your systems. We look at what's working for you and what you hope to gain, and we come up with a strategy and a plan to start building that out. I'm going to include all of the links in the notes of this video, and I hope to see you there soon. Overall, what you need to know is that the traditional model tells us to set it and forget it. And if you're wanting more visibility and marketability when it comes to your private practice, you're going to have to take an active role. Scaling doesn't have to be as complex as it seems. It can be really simple, but it's going to take clarity and strategy. If you found this video to be helpful, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and be sure to join my community of forward-thinking therapists. It's free to join with access to webinars and lives that help you build out the private practice of your dreams. Links in the description. And like I said, if you're ready to take your practice to the next level, book a one-on-one strategy session with me. Links are below. Bye for now.